Aloha, Nancy Ruby here, founder and director of the Yoga Motion Academy. This is the third part of a three-part series talking about the basic aspects of healthy aging. And those include compressed morbidity, independence, and equanimity. Today we're going to talk about equanimity. I'm back in my home in Montana and it feels so good. I had a wonderful time on the island of Kauai in those last two videos. You can tell I kind of mellowed out over time, and that's really a lot about what equanimity is all about. Equanimity means mental calmness, clarity, and an evenness of temper, even in challenging situations. So even though we may be able to compress morbidity, which means shorten the time of illness in our life and expand the time of health in our life, there will be times when we have health challenges. And even though we may be able to prolong our independence into old age, there may come a time where we need to actually depend on others to finish out our life. Or maybe it's just a time in our life when we have an injury or an illness and we need to ask for help and exercise that dependence. It's not always an easy thing to do. And even if we live a very long and healthy life, we will lose those that we love along the way. And so how do we maintain a sense of calm and balance through these times that are perceived as difficult in our life? Yoga has actually proven to reduce stress and anxiety and depression, and these are some of the factors that we come up against when we're in a challenging situation, when we're losing loved ones, or when our own life is in a state of imbalance. The practice of meditation, which is part of yoga, and the philosophy of yoga teaches us ways in which we can enter into a state of calm relaxation even in the midst of the storm. I like to think of it as being in the eye of the storm. We stay calm as life swirls on around us. Yoga teaches us to stay grounded, to be strong, and to stay balanced in the times of change. We all know, though it's hard to admit, that there is no predictability in life, and there's so much that's simply out of our control. Yoga teaches us to accept our life as it unfolds. I've learned that yoga teaches me to trust my heart and my gut more than my mind. There's a lot of research being done now in the field of psychology, recognizing that we have what they're calling a heart mind and a gut mind. And it's really about listening to our inner feelings and our inner nudges. It's that still small voice of wisdom that can carry us through these times of change from a place of grace. Responding versus reacting. The philosophy of yoga encourages compassion and non-judgment for ourselves as well as others. And yoga, traditionally being actually a very quiet practice, though we know there's a lot of rock and roll yoga going on out there, but traditionally it's a very quiet practice, giving us the opportunity for inner self-reflection. And in that inner self-reflection, we come to recognize our habits and patterns, and those that no longer serve us, as well as those that serve us. Our habits and patterns are called samskaras in Sanskrit, and the samskaras of our life can often create suffering if they're patterns that no longer serve us. Just think of any habit that's really hard to let go of. It could be smoking, overeating, undereating, an attitude of victimhood, an anxiety, which is an unknown fear, worrying about things that are completely out of our control. And we have these habits. My own habit is not drinking enough water, even though I know I need to drink water because it helps my joints and my muscles and my skin and my nervous system to conduct more thoroughly. I have to consciously, intentionally create this pattern because I so easily forget. So just consider something for yourself that you maybe know that you need and want to change, but it's very difficult to do so. So let's have compassion for ourselves in these opportunities for change. You know, we simply are creatures of habit, so we need to embrace that and then do what we can do to change habits that no longer serve us, to let go of patterns that are imbalanced, and to step more into a groove that allows us to live in a more state of balance and contentment and feel more comfortable in our life. This does take effort, so whatever we want to do to take care of ourselves, the number one thing to remember is we can't just want it. We have to actually step into the action to make it happen. And that just includes basic self-care as well as changing our relationship to how we move through our day so that we can increase our health span, live independently, and have a sense of equanimity. In yoga, it's through the practice of meditation, which is highly recommended. Time to just simply be quiet. Now, it doesn't mean you have to be still. Meditation can be a moving meditation. You could be going for a walk. I went on a beautiful walk yesterday at sunset in the beauty of the fall foliage. And I went by myself on purpose because I wanted to just walk and let my mind rest and just take in the beauty that was surrounding me and listen to the wisdom of my heart, remembering who I am, especially reconnecting to Bozeman after being gone for a couple of weeks. I just really wanted to sink into my Montana roots. The other practices that help with equanimity can be restorative yoga, relaxing our body, breathing practices that help to calm our nervous system and focus our mind, bringing us more into the present. And the term mindfulness is really gaining a lot of exposure this day, especially mindfulness in the workplace, mindfulness in the school. So mindfulness simply means being present, and it's not so easy. Our mind easily wanders to the past and the future. So to bring equanimity, it's about settling into what's real right now. What's the truth of this moment, without getting pulled into how we think things should have been or how things might be, but to be right here, right now, in the truth of the moment. This gives us a sense of being connected, or as we say in yoga, being grounded, feeling like we have a sense of belonging, a sense of presence with ourselves and our environment and all of nature. So equanimity is about balancing out our emotional and mental body to be able to have that opportunity to respond gracefully to the many changes in life. This brings about what I find an attitude of gratitude. So there we have our three components of what sustains healthy aging: compressed morbidity, expanding our health span, independence, doing the things we love and doing for others as long as possible, and equanimity, allowing ourselves to remain calm in the center of the storm, because life is not predictable. What we can predict is how we respond to the ever-changing world around us. And we can hold that sense of peace and calm within. And even when it's not so easy, we can observe it from a place of compassion and kindness and know this is a practice. And it does take effort, and it's so worth it. Thank you for joining me for this three-part series of Yoga for Healthy Aging. And I look forward to sharing more with you. So stay tuned. Join me for my 6-week course beginning in October, if you can make it, on Mondays in Bozeman. There's both a morning and an evening option. Or stay tuned on this evening, because I'll be adding more and more some practices and teachings about how we can support our own health and well-being and be more effective in the world. Enjoy this beautiful fall season. Namaste.